Largest bank, the Commonwealth Bank, today revealed record profits and more than $10 billion being returned to shareholders, Ross, through dividends and a share buyback scheme.
OK, so let's take you through this because it is quite phenomenal. It does show the bounce back in Australia's economy as well. Australia's largest bank has had a stellar year up until June 30 this year. We'll get to Matt Comyn, the Chief Executive of the Commonwealth Bank. I spoke with him earlier today. We'll get to that very shortly, but let me run you through the key numbers today from the Commonwealth Bank's annual report. So the profit comes in here. You can see it's going to be a share buyback as one of the things they're going to offer. This is going to be some $6 billion, the share buyback. This is on top of around a $4 billion dividend they're going to pay. Now, just to explain this share buyback, it's going to be offered to the shareholders at a 10 to 14% discount to the current share price. And you might think, well, why would you do that? Why would you actually sell your shares back to the bank at a discount? The reason for it is that given the fact the share price today is $108, there's only around $21 of that is going to be counted as capital. That's effectively the price you're selling it back to them at. The rest of it's going to be given to you as a massive big dividend, which obviously carries tax efficiencies. That's the reason why it goes that way. The profit itself, $8.65 billion, is up by some 19.8%, and the annual dividend is at $3.50 a share. That's up by 52 cents. You can see here what's happened to the share price. The share price closed at $108 or 1.3% higher. But as I said, I did speak with the Chief Executive, Matt Comyn, a little earlier today. Here's just a little of that conversation about this stellar result.
It's obviously against the backdrop at the moment of a lot of restrictions and lockdowns around the country. We're extremely focused on making sure that we're reaching out to our customers, letting them know that we're here to support them through this difficult period. We're receiving about 300 or 400 requests for usually home loan deferrals at the moment per day. A smaller number from our business customers. We've made about 12,000 proactive calls over the last 2 weeks. We're acutely conscious of some sectors and some geographies, as we'd all be aware, that are under real pressure, and we certainly want to make sure we're doing everything we can to support those businesses and individual customers to get through these challenging times.
So notwithstanding there is support from the federal government, for many of your customers right now who might have been stood down or who are without jobs, that is insufficient, I would imagine, in big capital cities to basically keep up with their mortgage payments.
In some cases it is, Ross, and I mean there is, as you said, very broad-based and effective support. People are able to get access to those payments very quickly, but sometimes those payments aren't fully sufficient depending on what their commitments were. It really does depend on individual circumstances. And of course, you know, the ongoing uncertainty, lockdowns, we really feel that from our perspective, often what we're doing as well is just giving customers confidence and reassurance about the options that are available to them. That was very successful last year in the context of the deferral program. We offered to our customers more than 200,000 deferrals, and almost all of those customers came out of deferral and restarted their repayment. So we're still very confident and optimistic about the Australian economy. We believe that we have to support our customers through this period, hopefully before the end of the year, but certainly into calendar 2022. We think there are much better times ahead.
All right, we did talk a few weeks ago about the pandemic and about staff and about vaccinations and whether you could mandate that or not. Of course, there is now a debate in the community about mandatory vaccinations and what business does. From your point of view, I know there's pilot plans that you're rolling out. Just as your thinking evolved on whether you should be able to force employees, customer-facing employees especially, to be able to ensure that they are vaccinated?
Yeah, I mean, a few of the things that we've been really focused on that are very popular with our teams. One's been rapid antigen testing that we've rolled out to a number of the branches and the LGAs that are currently subject to the most significant restrictions. As you said, we went live on Monday with a corporate vaccination pilot, which we're about to extend out to, or we have just extended to 5,000 of our team members who live in those LGAs. It's also for their family members. We ran a survey, an entirely voluntary survey last week around asking our people about their views around the vaccine. We had more than 11,000 people respond, so a quarter of our workforce in 24 hours. And what was really interesting, there's only 4% of people who are saying at this stage they don't intend to get vaccinated. There's 89% who are saying they want to get vaccinated. There's 7% that are unsure. So if you think about that 96%, That's what we're focused on, is making sure that we can make it as easy and convenient for as many people to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. And of course, we'll do anything we can to support both state and federal governments as part of that vaccine rollout. And so that's where our energy is being channeled. Inevitably, at times, there'll be some questions across many industries, and there's some difficulties, as I know you appreciate, around that. But at least at this stage, what we see is huge demand for our teams to get vaccinated and their family members. More than 85% of people of our team would use a corporate vaccination program. So we want to scale that out and play a very positive and constructive role in getting the vaccine rolled out to as many Australians as possible.
OK, just one final one for you, and that is that final 4% who are resistant to vaccination. Have you had any thoughts as to what you do with those staff, how you manage those staff into the future?
Yeah, look, it's a challenging topic, and I've had the opportunity to speak to some CEOs in different countries who are obviously confronting this, both in the US and in Europe. There's different approaches, from incentives then to different sort of practices around, mask wearing and rapid testing. In some cases, and you're seeing this globally, some large employers are mandating it. As I said, we're not needing to confront that right now. It's not the binding constraint. There is some complexity. It does depend on the type of role and the type of employment contract, but we certainly think that we'll be able to work through those issues. We've been thrilled with the level of support that we've had. We've got a fantastic team of people who work at the Commonwealth Bank, and the result that we've delivered today wouldn't be possible without them. And we're very confident about our ability to be able to continue to support and serve our customers safely and provide both a safe workplace and, of course, a safe environment for all of our customers.
Yeah, so Kieran, the upshot of that is very interesting, because it goes to the heart of every employer right now, and that is, on one hand, you've got obligations, legal obligations under Safe Work Australia to provide a safe workplace. On the other hand, you've got Fair Work Australia. You cannot actually take actions against employees, maybe because they don't want a vaccine. This is still a legal question, but it's also an ethical question that every employer right now in Australia is having to confront.
Good to see the vast majority of that workforce, at least, keen to get the jab. Hopefully, long may that continue across the community and across the economy more broadly. Thank you, Ross. Appreciate it.